Good morning, good morning, good morning. Crypto info, blockchain made easy with the Tanka XRP supply compression explained. Guys, let's not ignore the plumbing here. XRP price does not move based on emotion. I get a lot of comments. Guys, it moves on liquidity. Today we're going to break down 5 forces that compress XRP supply over time. Okay. Now, what is supply compression, first of all? Today, XRP supply is known, but tradable. The supply is what sets price. Okay, so if fewer XRP sit on venues ready to sell, small buying moves price faster and more violently. Okay, how does this repricing happen? Please tap like and subscribe. No, I'm not a financial advisor. Not financial advice. All right, force 1. Spot XRP ETFs. They require real XRP custody. We know this. It's obvious. Okay, authorized participants are going to deliver this XRP to create shares, and that XRP moves from exchanges into custody ETF holders, holders of long-term capital. Okay, pension funds, retirement accounts, goes on and on. Okay, turns into liquidity flow. This liquidity flow into slow-moving stuff. Okay, that's the first thing. The next force is custodial products. Now, beyond ETFs, institutions use trusts. They use ETPs, exchange traded products. They use managed funds, bank custody. Okay. So cold custody does not mean inactive, though. That's the thing. Okay. It means regulated, segregated, insured. More custody, of course. There's the thing. More custody means less exchange float. And that's crucial. Less exchange float, we know what that does. Less churn, less selling. Okay. Force number 3, bank reserves and treasuries. Banks require liquidity for payments, as we well know. We know that most of it's on the exchanges. There are still seams in between the banks. Okay, these assets still reduce costs when they do this. Okay, when they work as seams. Okay, if allowed, XRP becomes working inventory in this way for this particular use. Treasury allocations. This is a little bit sticky. Okay. They don't trade daily. They lack supply. Okay. So they have to have a lot ready and on hand, already pre-bought. Okay. Force number 4, derivatives collateral. Now, derivatives requiring hedging, right? Market makers hold spot XRP to hedge risk. So more open interest means more spot inventory is required. Collateral eligibility, of course, locks XRP inside margin systems. That also XRP locked is it's just more. It's just more and more and more. There's another one, regulatory capital. Number 5. There are a few forces here that play in. Institutions wait for rules, clear rules, right? They need this for capital treatment, movement, everything dealing with anything that's going on. They need regulation. So this reduces forced selling. Stability increases. Regulation is going to increase. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So these forces work together. Okay, they stack. ETPs pull float. Okay, custody pulls more. Banks add inventory. I know a lot's on exchanges, but still, derivatives lock supply. Regulation channels flow. Well, flows in general. Okay, so all of this adds to compression. Current XRP spot, XRP data. Let's get into some numbers here. You know we have 5 XRP spots. One ETF is Bitwise XRP ETF. Capital inflows 450 million. XRP held 750 million up to this point. ETF number 2, 21 shares. Capital inflows 320 mil up to this point. XRP held 540 mil. ETF number 3, Franklin Templeton ETF. Capital inflows on that puppy 280 million. XRP held 470 million. Player number 4, Canary XRP ETF. Rocking the house with 210 million XRP held. XRP held 350 million. I'm sorry, 215 mil. In dough, in money. Rex Osprey, capital inflow, 190 mil and 315 million XRP. Combined ETF impact for these 5 total inflows, 1.45 bill. XRP held 2.4 bill. Wow. All right, guys, welcome to Crypto Info. Guys, what does the market miss? ETF demand scales slowly, and then suddenly, we all know this, model updates trigger buying, OTC liquidity thins. We know what's going to happen here coming up shortly. Open markets feel pressure. XRP moves in steps, not lines, guys, not like this linear line. All right, let's look at some price range scenarios for the end of 2026. $6 to $18-ish or so. 2027, about 8 to 25, could be more. 2028, we're looking at 10 to 35, could be more, could be 50, 75. 2029, we could be looking at 100 to 200. And by 2030, we could be looking at a $300 to $500 XRP or more. And this is simply repricing. This is not, this is not based on hype. I know there's a lot of talk going around with folks saying, "Oh, XRP, we were not over the target. We were wrong." Guys, welcome in Rero. Welcome in Marcon Sager. Guys, yes, 2026 is around the corner. Welcome in, guys. Guys, a lot of folks are saying that I'm hearing that, "Oh, you were all wrong about XRP, and XRP is not going to do it. You guys banked on the wrong thing. Oops." See, because look at Canton Network and some other things. Here, hang on one sec. I'm going to be right back. Hold on one sec, guys. I'll be right back with you. I think we're good. Here, give me one more sec. I'm going to fix our camera angle. Hold on one sec here. Okay, better. Thank you for waiting for us. I like that music. Thanks for waiting for us. Sometimes we have technical difficulties. Here, let's get into how much XRP is moving right now, by the way. Let's see. How much XRP is moving now? We have 167,000 trading in the past minute of XRP or so. We're moving along. Guys, let's not sweat XRP's price going up. Everybody's worried about it. Well, not everybody, but I hear a lot of people talking about it, saying, "Guys, see, banks don't need to hold it for ODL. Your case has a huge hole in it. See, XRP's, you guys were all not, you were wrong about XRP. I don't know how to say it to you guys. You were wrong. It's not going up based on ODL. We all knew it wasn't going to go up just based on ODL. The banks aren't going to sit here and hold this. This happens so fast. They're going to hold a little bit of it. They're going to have to. They're going to source the most of it off of exchanges, though. So when we look at XRP's price now, by the way, let's just quickly get the cryptocurrency market cap, and then we'll market happenings for the week, start of the week, and then we will get into that talk because Canton, Canton, here, let's pull it up here. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Canton, look out. You haven't heard? Canton Network's going to take over." Yeah, I don't know where it is. I've never found it, but it's here. I think it's like 14 cents or something. But anyway, hey, let's not sweat it. Let me give you the real deal on this. All right, cryptocurrency market cap, 2.96 trill, 30 for fear and greed. XRP is at $1.86. Awesome. Don't forget about Caleb Brown, your one-stop shop for cryptocurrency brokerage, because I got to run through it. And by the way, call him a toll-free number at the bottom. Tell him that Frank the Crypto Tank sent you. And yes, we're in the U.S. now as well with Caleb and Brown. Okay, now back to it. Let's get to it. Here's the deal. Now, everybody's worried about Canton Network. What's going to happen with Canton? All right, so don't worry about the Canton Network. It is not. Let me get some notes here. I'll give you some details. Okay, Canton Network, institutional, shared workflow, and shared truth network for regulated finance where privacy is the core feature, not an add-on. Okay, so think of Canton as a way for banks, broker-dealers, custodians, CCPs, market utilities, and issuers to run synchronized smart contract workflows, which is required. It's great. Trading margin, collateral, settlement infrastructures, financing, registries, everything is what these smart contracts handle. They handle all those things. Trading, margin, collateral, settlement, and instructions, et cetera, and financing. Now, without exposing everybody's data to everybody else, which is great. Oh, thank you so much, Channel. Thank you, Channel. Oh, thank you, Channel. You are the channel. Thank you. You guys are the channel. I love this. How fun, people, please. Canton's own material is described, by the way, as a network of networks, a smart contract applications ability with programmable privacy via DAML, D-A-M-L, and native interoperability across Canton's subnets without needing a separate bridge for that within Canton. Okay, great. A model where no single party stores the entire ledger. Each participant keeps only the data they're entitled to see, and the protocol synchronizes correctness across participants. Don't like that. Anyway, that's just me. Inherently, I had a does not compute, just went off with that. I don't like that aspect of it. Real production style institutional use cases, fund registries, cash registries, bond registries, margin, financing apps, demonstrated in large pilots, by the way. So recent hard evidence that big market infrastructure is building on it. And for example, DTCC partnering with digital asset Canton for tokenized U.S. Treasury related infrastructure. And this is where folks are going. I've heard folks saying, "Oh my gosh, that's it. See, now you're, we knew ODL wasn't going to make XRP go up in price. Fine, but we kind of needed that ETF, spot ETF tier prong, right? Out of the three prongs, the spot ETF we needed besides the ODL, and we also need the real world assets though. And now we're not going to get that tokenized third prong or Triskelion spinning, that little spinner. And we're not going to get that force that you were talking about now, Tank. So nice try with the real world assets coming up with XRP Ledger, because now it's Canton instead. No. Did I whine there? My apologies for whining. So Canton is primarily about private and compliant multi-party workflows, shared state to reduce reconciliation, which makes sense, atomic delivery versus payment, collateral margin style coordination, tokenized TradFi market plumbing. Sounds a lot like XRP. Now, for the newcomers and those who have been around for a little bit, for the point of, for the sake of making the point, let's perhaps be a tad redundant. And I'll show you I'm making my, here's my little oat milk, making my coffee. You're wondering, so I'll show you. My honey that I'm putting in here, for sure. Just a tad. And the mushroom tea. And now these days I'm doing just a little bit of caffeine. Not a lot. Just a little. Just a little. Thanks for watching me make my coffee. It's not coffee, chat. But it is my coffee. And it is good. And I love David, by the way. I'm completely joking when I do that. I only try to impersonate folks that I love. XRP and XRPL, let's get to that in plain English, if you don't mind. What is XRP and XRPL? I laid out notes, so I'll read right from them. XRPL's own docs, 3 to 5 second settlement and decentralized validator consensus process. I'll go more deeply than what my notes are saying, which of course is BFT or Byzantine fault tolerance consensus, which is just a little bit different. And we know that XRP, XLM, XDC, and HBAR have that, which is required according to the BIS. Built-in exchange functionality, XRP also holds, which is order books, dexes, right? And pathfinding and auto bridging mechanics. See our videos below or above or wherever the heck they are. Search the channel for auto bridging and pathfinding and find our videos covering that. Ripple's payment stack. ODL is explicitly about sourcing liquidity in real time, as we know, using XRP rather than pre-funding those. Now, look at, there's still going to be pre-funding with the XRP. So you're still getting pre-funding. Not only you get rid of pre-funding, you got the XRP there on the exchange. I'll get the comments in a minute here, guys. I see you in there. It's not that, you know what I mean? It's not that we're not going to see pre-funding still. It's just going to be pre-funded with crypto, essentially, instead. Sourcing liquidity in real time using XRP rather than pre-funding nostro balances, which is like 27 trill across the planet. Mechanics vary by corridor and provider setup. See, that's the thing. Some of them don't. That requires, depends on what the structure is with the institution that you're using, and that's crucial to point out, by the way. Different setups exist when it comes to APIs and so on and so forth, and how they're used and how they actually source it and use it. So XRP is primarily about fast final settlement of value, low-cost transfers, of course, liquidity bridge asset behavior, XRP, open network reach, amongst other things, public infrastructure, okay? And now, now the key difference is workflow network. Here's the key difference, basically, okay? Workflow network versus liquidity and settlement rail. This is the difference. Canton's problem, or cantones, or however people are trying to say it. I mean, phonetics in English says that word is Canton, you know. Check out Canton. Is it Canton, Ohio, Canton, Massachusetts? There are a number of cantons, and it's pronounced Canton. People in crypto try to get cute. I think it's funny. I hear influencers, I love them all, going Canton and all these. Canton. Let me put a little flair on the end of it. No, it's Canton. Okay, so how do regulated institutions coordinate complex transactions? This is its problem. This is Canton Network's problem. How do regulated institutions coordinate complex transactions and state changes privately across many parties and apps without endless reconciliation? Now, that's why Canton leans into DAML, D-A-M-L is what's called DAML, smart contracts, okay? Privacy by default, data segmentation as well, and also synchronized workflows across subnet apps. That helps them with their endless reconciliation. But XRPL's problem here is, I don't know about that. I'm reading my notes here. I don't know about that. How do you move value and settle it fast, globally, in a neutral way, including as a bridge asset, assets, currencies, etc.? That's why XRPL leans into fast consensus, finality, payments first design. XRP created specifically for payments, amongst other things. Not enough with the note. That's okay. We'll go with this for now. They're not trying to do the same job. They overlap in finance, and this is what folks are missing. They do overlap, but they're aimed at different bottlenecks, and that's the difference. They're both required. They're doing two different things. Why Canton does not replace XRP and does not threaten it? Why would that be? Canton's superpower. Canton is not XRP's, is not. Okay, so here's the thing. Canton's superpower is privacy and coordination. Okay, this is one key difference here, guys. Canton is built so institutions can share just enough information to coordinate trades, settlements, margin, collateral without revealing to each other everything. Okay, like we said. So that's not what XRP was created for. XRP's job is liquidity and settlement for payments primarily. Canton is not a universal public bridge asset. So if Canton tokenizes assets and cash-like instruments internally, the movement value needs to move across networks still, across jurisdictions, across different rails, right? You're back to the classic problem. What is the neutral settlement asset liquidity bridge between two different forms of value? XRP. Canton cannot connect Canton can't connect subnet apps natively, okay? But interoperably with other chains is still described as bridges, and that's what it needs. So it's not magic, it's still integrating bridges, and that's exactly the domain where XRPL and XRP can sit naturally, value transfer plus liquidity between systems, and that's what we've got. And that's why it's different, and that's why it's better, and that's why Canton is never going to replace XRP. Get XRPL, so get out of it. Get your head, please, very nicely out of the clouds. Okay, so we had a thing the other day, or yesterday. It's not true, but folks saying, "Oh, I Trust Capital is went away, crashed, or closed, or whatever." No, an exchange had another one had shut down, a smaller one, not I Trust Capital. I Trust Capital's just fine, okay? But word spreads on X, and people don't check headlines, and they don't know, oh, I Trust Capital is down. Look, guys, the same thing happened with Canton here. People are like, oh, Canton, forget about it. XRPL, you guys were off with Canton's taking over. No. Different things. Let me get into my comments. Welcome in, Art Caffeine. Good morning, my good sir. Welcome in, my good friend. Marty, welcome in. Happy Monday to the Tanka and community. Thank you for your sentiments and welcome. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Welcome to Crypto Info Blockchain Made Easy with the Tanka. Crawbilly's in here. Good morning. Got to bounce. Wanted to support. Oh, you're awesome. Thanks, Crawbilly, for coming in this morning and supporting us for a brief time. Guys, I love that you guys come in and spend a quick little spot in the morning with its crypto info with the Tanka. And we try to cover what is current. We try to cover what is happening. We try to also remind folks that XRP ain't going nowhere now, child. Come on. Get with me. Look, guys, the world of blockchain technology is going to develop around us and going to start spider webbing and integrating with DeFi is going to integrate with TradFi. It's happening. It's been happening. It's continuing to happen. We're all getting eyes on it a little, so when they happen, we're having eyes on it a little more easily than going to find in a Cyprex Superior Trading, or a 24 Hours Crypto, or one of these channels that get more deeply and get into the minutia of crypto and some of these networks and things like this, and you'll see them cover Canton Network and things like this, and you'll see the truth. That Canton and XRP. So Canton is one of the players, one of the networks that is being developed around the XRP ledger and some of the other chains. And then we are going to get, it's not going to be one chain to rule them. It doesn't make any sense. There are going to be multiple blockchains doing different things that will be connected with chain networks like projects like Chainlink and so on and so forth. That will connect and interoperate Quant's Overledger, that will connect other chains. They'll let them talk to each other, not be walled gardens, right? So, institutions often separate. Let's continue here. By the way, welcome to the channel, and thank you. Thanks for the happy Monday. Hang on, channel's dropping things off. Oh, yes. Thank you. Okay. Institutions often separate private deal details, guys, from final settlement. If we want to get more deeply into the minutia of what the difference is between the two, and I think everybody kind of wants to know. So, because people are considered like, what's this Canton Network? I've heard things like XRP now, L is not needed now because of Canton Network. Not the case, guys. Okay. In real markets, the trade details can be private, but the settlement result still needs to finalize cleanly. So Canton is excellent for keeping the deal logic and sensitive data private, which is great. Coordinating multi-party obligations. XRPL is excellent for final settlement, transfer of value, doing it fast and consistently on a public neutral rail. So how they complement each other. A simple institutional example here. Tokenized collateral plus cross-border settlement, Canton layer, private coordination. Okay, so here's how it works. The Canton layer is private coordination. Bank A and Bank B agree on a collateralized transaction. The collateral, or tokenized treasuries, tokenized deposits, fund shares, whatever, is managed with privacy and permissions. Okay, then margin calls, substitutions, life cycle events are automated across participants on the network. This is exactly the kind of multi-app, multi-party workflow Canton pilots talk about, which is registries, margin, and financing, that they can handle all three of these major applications. So XRPL and the XRP layer is value transfer plus liquidity. Now, this is a little bit different, okay? When it's time to move the value across currency zones, across district rails, you're going to need fast settlement finality and often a bridge liquidity mechanism. So XRP as bridge, or XRPL native liquidity routes as the bridge. So XRPL's design and docs position it for near real-time settlement and providing and bridging via its exchange pathfinding mechanics. So the combined architecture with Canton and XRPL and XRP, okay, look like this. At Canton equals private institutional coordination and tokenized asset workflows. XRPL and XRP handles settlement and liquidity bridge when value has to move broadly. So the truth test here question you can always use when somebody says Canton threatens XRP, we can ask, well, is Canton's main product a globally neutral bridge liquidity asset optimized for cross-border payments, or no? Based on Canton's own positioning, and then when we talk about real-world assets, it handles a different layer concerning RWAs. It is not the same layer that the XRPL is handling, so it's not going to be bumping it out. They're handling two separate layers when it comes to tokenization of real-world assets. So no, they don't threaten each other. In fact, they complement each other. This is akin to when the XRPL, when RLUSD was launched, and folks were doing the same thing. They didn't understand it, and they were shouting out on X, see, now RLUSD is going to take the place of XRP is going to go away, now it's going to take its place. No, it doesn't take its place. In fact, it complements it. They complement each other. They each make each other more valuable in the world. Oh, boy. Boy, welcome to crypto. Welcome to Crypto Info, Blockchain Made Easy with the Tank It. Guys, in the kindest way, I hope you didn't miss the train. I'm never a financial advisor. It doesn't matter. I still hope you didn't miss the train on the three X's, which are XRP, XLM, XTC. And also, don't forget about HBAR. So we have four primary crypto players that are inevitable in this world to move forward as the monster players in crypto. It's simply going to happen. Please don't leave Algo, IOTA, Quant, ADA, and some of the other players out, some of the other ISO players out, because we can play this video back in 3 to 5 years and have some fun. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. Don't ever buy or sell anything because of what I say or do on the channel, because crypto is very risky and you could lose your stocks, your shorts, your pants, your glasses, and everything in crypto. Okay, now, take a breath. Now, when it comes to XRP price movement, we understand a little bit more than we did before. We know we don't need to be listening to, oh, XRP's price is not going to go up now. You guys, I'm sorry, you were not correct about XRP's price. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, you made the wrong choice. Better luck next time. See, told you XRP was a crap coin, blah, 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 blah. Thank goodness that's not the case. It's not just ODL. And by the way, sooner or later, the exchanges run out of it too. Okay, and for whatever it's trying to be sourced for, because XRP is inherently, wait for it, what's the word? Yeah, deflationary. It's not because I couldn't think of it. I was pausing purposely. Sounded like I couldn't think of the word. Don't worry, I had it. Yes, it's deflationary. It becomes scarcer and minute by minute fractions every time it's used. Yes. Who's on top of XRP mechanics, XRPL mechanics, and XRP? How they're used in the real world based on different use cases, and who's required to hold them, and what makes XRP's price go up or not. Also considering, by the way, of course, thin liquidity and the float of XRP at any given time. Crucial. Can't leave out key mechanics, key metrics. XRP is about to go to the moon. Art Caffeine says XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, Quant, IOTA, Algo. Rock and roll, child. Hey, look at guys. You know it, Art. You know it, brother, man. This stuff is going to the moon. Hey, guy, by the way, sometimes we have real players in the world like XLM, XRP, XDC, HBAR, IOTA, Quant, Algo. There are some others too. Those are the ISOs. We also have key players in the world like Art Caffeine. They don't make them like that. Sometimes we have key human players that are awesome. Thanks, Art Caffeine. And also, Marnie, thank you so much. Mark Onsager, Rero, my favorites here on the channel, my lovely diehards on the channel that are going to laugh a huge, joyous laugh. I was going to say 3 to 5 years, but it could be faster. I'm saying about 3 to 5 years because it does take time. Guys, think about this. XRP, oh boy. Let me close on this, okay? I want to help with your understanding. Let me close on this. Okay, most of us are old enough to remember NVIDIA before it became NVIDIA here recently, right? Over the last few years or so. I'm sure we all looked at it. You guys are researchers of regular stocks and crypto stocks and so on and so forth, crypto coins or whatever. I know you are, okay? If you did that, then a few years ago or so, before NVIDIA became large, you saw the truth on NVIDIA, okay? And you were like, wow, this is going to be something. Maybe I should pull them. Right? I saw it too, and I didn't do it. I was doing crypto then, okay? Anyway, if we saw Walmart back in the day, here's the point. If we saw Walmart back in the day, okay, before it was Walmart. If we saw Amazon back in the day, before it was Amazon. Google back in the day. I'm not going to do that again with my hands. Don't worry. Thought I was. I tricked you. Before these were a huge thing in the world, do you remember how they started out? Do you? YouTube, before it was a huge thing. Do you remember how it started out? Harken back. How do all of these Meta, Facebook, Meta, Twitter, X now. Interesting. Twitter, all that time. But yeah, obviously you ain't going nowhere. But the world's changing now. We're going to call you X now because obviously with the payments coming up with all the X's, yeah, we better cross you over now to the X. Austin Power. Yeah. How about Facebook? Obviously not going away, even though a lot of old people use them. And you got Twitter and you got Instagram and there's others coming up now, but it doesn't matter. It's not the same thing as Facebook now, John, including, Nextdoor app and all this other stuff. Think about that now. Facebook, a little bit different. Now, Facebook ain't going nowhere. So what do they got to do? You got to rebrand it over to Meta because that's, all right, so look at Facebook, all of these monster powerhouses, back to the point here, back to the primary point. That was a sub point. Back to you tracking? The primary point is, have we seen how all of these come into the world? How they start off slowly and for free? A friend of mine and I were making this point. He actually made the point this weekend. Isn't it so? Isn't this how the world adopts and grabs these large technologies? Yeah. Well, my buddy Art Caffeine's over to Target. Thank you, Art. Art is over the target. Those thoughts come from Art Caffeine, and Art Caffeine is over the target. This is how these things come into play. This is how everything that is large and monstrous that we have and use and can't live without come into play in our world. Isn't it so? Look at Amazon. Think about Amazon back in the day in 2016, 2018, whatever it was, when we started with Amazon and then Amazon Prime. And folks were like, yeah, there's this thing called Amazon Prime. And you can, if you get Amazon Prime, you get free shipping. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Come on. Slowly starting to embed into the hearts and minds and wallets of all the Americans and all the humans on the planet, not just Americans. And I remember back in 2018, 2019 or so, and I was talking around in a group setting with a number of associates around me, like 15 of them, that were going, oh, yeah, you don't know about Amazon? I'm like, yeah, I'm an old guy in the room. Yeah, I don't know about Amazon yet. And so, yeah, I know a little bit. And they're like, no, Amazon Prime, Frank. Look, get Amazon Prime. You get free shipping, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, I thought this Amazon was a thing with everybody. Verified. It is. All these people who are younger than me know all about Amazon and Amazon Prime. Amazon has embedded itself quietly into the heart. Well, quietly, then all of a sudden, right? That's how these things work. Embedded into the hearts and minds and wallets and everyday schedule and usage of all the humans on the planet. And all of a sudden, you got your powerhouse Amazon that people can't live without. You get it? Whew. Airbnb, similar. Once everybody using Airbnb, go ahead and raise your prices now 15%. Oh, gotcha. Oh, because you got to use, right? But it started quietly with a bed or a couch and somewhere here or there across the planet, way back when Airbnb. Remember how it started? Then it started to explode. And it is what it is today as the platform. They all do this. Here comes certain blockchain technology projects that have coins that ride on their blockchain that perform certain functions that are integrating with a real world use that the world's going to realize they can't do without moving forward, particularly concerning the world of finance and many other things concerning crypto and certain projects that are integrating. And oh my goodness, before you know it, we're all going to be shocked. They're going to be like, we can't live without this XRP stuff. I thought that was a crap coin. That's actually a real thing in the world, that XRP. Ripple, San Francisco. Oh, it's a Ripple. It's a San Francisco-based tech company that's largely, leverages XRP and the XRP ledger. Interesting. That was a whole thing. Oh, how come I didn't know about? Oh, you mean you knew about that like 7 years ago, Tank? This is way out in the future. Yeah. There was a special kind of niche on YouTube and everything. You didn't see that? It was on Fox Business and stuff. Brett Garlinghouse was on there. Oh, boy. Anyway, I hope that wasn't really a very poignant punchline at all. But I think we got the point. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. This is how this all happens. Art Caffeine's awesome. You guys are awesome. Marnie, you're awesome. Thank you. Smart man, that Art Caffeine. He certainly is. Crawbillies, thank you. And who else? Rero, thanks for joining. Everybody else who's joined us. There's so many people in here, and I know that they're not all in the comment section. You know I love you all, and I thank you for joining Crypto Info Blockchain Made Easy with the Tanka. I am not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. Crypto, of course, is very risky. It's for informational for informational and educational and entertainmental purposes only. Don't ever listen to what I say, and don't ever buy or sell anything with what I say or do. Crypto's risky. You could use your shocks, your shorts, your hat, your glasses, and everything. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Enjoy the rest of this Monday. Remember, Monday is the start of the entire week. Keep a huge smile on that face. Remember, you have chosen wisely. If you have chosen XRP, XLM, XDC, Algo, HBAR, all the other ISOs, I hope you keep a smile on knowing the truth and keep your research going with cryptocurrency. Don't ever stop. See the truth that Canton and some other players only enhance the crypto space and fortify XRPL and XRP's price and positioning in this future crypto world. Have an awesome day and an awesome week. Keep a big smile on. I love you guys. Tank her out. Have a good one. Cheers.